heard that feeling great today begins with having a great night's sleep the night before. But what happens when you have very little sleep or poor sleep? How do you feel energized and how do you feel great the following day? So this is exactly what happened to me last week after I just opened my brand new community on Skool, and I got a little carried away with doing things in the evening into the early hours. I had busy days with my work commitments and my family commitments and things going on with the kids that I ended up doing some of the things way later in the evening than I should have. And with the excitement of the new community, got carried away doing stuff, which meant I did not have enough sleep. And the first night I only got 4 hours sleep, and the second night I got 3.5 hours sleep, and I was able to see my sleep on my Oura ring. I did notice the first day after the lack of sleep, I didn't feel too bad. I felt fine mostly. And then the second day after it, I felt sluggish in the morning. I wasn't as clearly focused and I felt it in my body. And that's when I chose that this is not how I want to feel. I'm not going to be doing this. And it really comes down to health is not about doing anything perfectly. It's about making choices and learning to notice when your body needs something different and then choosing to listen and then doing what's needed. Sleep is one of the foundational things I work on with my clients. And it is something I have worked on with myself in the past. But this experience last week allowed me to realize the change that I've been able to experience by being very intentional in one day and really focus on the steps that I need for my body to feel energized as quickly as possible because of a lack of sleep. So what I like to do when I'm doing this is split the things up into morning, during the day and evening. And this is something I share with my clients as well. What are the things that you can do in the morning for your sleep to support your sleep to be great during the night so that you feel great the following day? What can you do during the daytime and what can you do during the evening? And so one of the things that I like to focus on in the morning when I wake up is my meditation. It's something I've been doing since 2018. And so it's been something that's really ingrained within me, and it allows me to connect with my deeper self. I started with my meditation practice, and then soon after I went for a early morning walk to get out and get some sunlight. The early morning sunlight supports the body to set the circadian rhythm, to allow your body to know when's daytime and when's nighttime, so you can then be getting into a wake sleep pattern more easily. And walking is also great for many other things. It supports your body to use up the stored fat for fuel if you go, especially before breakfast. And the bilateral movement supports your body to go into more of a thrive state, into a relax and digest state, so out of a stress state. And that is essential to thriving, to be able to go there. And so breakfast for me that day was a smoothie. So a smoothie is very much, it was blended, and so it's easy for the body to absorb the nutrients, and I wanted something that was able to support my body well. It was a smoothie which was full of macronutrients and micronutrients. The smoothie was full of fiber. It had protein, healthy fats, nature's carbs, and it also had a whole mix of micronutrients because it had a whole bunch of different colors in there as well. I took my daily vitamins to make sure my body was getting all the support possible, and then I also decided on my bedtime for the day, because when we're intentional with our choices and know what time we're going to sleep that evening, it's easier to make sure it happens. So during the day, I made sure that I was eating my meals about 4 to 5 hours apart, that my meals incorporated fiber, healthy fats, nature's carbs, a variety of different colors, phytonutrients, and also protein. I made sure I was drinking water regularly and that I drank at least half my body weight in fluid ounces to make sure I was getting enough hydration. And I also used mineral hydration. I used Beam Minerals to make sure I was getting enough minerals. And then the other thing I did during the day was to make sure I was moving regularly. I like to be intentional, especially if I am aware that my energy may be low, is to do a little bit of movement every hour, just a couple of minutes, so that I am using my physical body to reset my emotional state. So as you'll learn if you follow me, that I look at health as in energy, as in frequency. And so what we do physically impacts our emotional state, and how we feel emotional will impact our physical state. So using movement to shift our physical state, if we're not feeling as energized, if we're feeling a little bit lower mood potentially because of low energy, using movement to shift that can be very helpful. And I was also aware to check in with my focus and with my thoughts to be sure that if they needed any shift, that I was supporting that, so that my focus, my attention, my thoughts were supportive of me to feel more energized that day and the following day. And so it can be easy when your body is feeling tired to think that lower frequency vibrational thoughts. So it was important for me to make sure that that wasn't the case, and I was very much being intentional that yes, I made some choices that weren't ideal. I stayed up later than I would have liked to, and as a result now I'm feeling the consequence of that. But that doesn't have to mean anything, and I'm able to shift it very quickly by being intentional and supporting my body now. So that was very important. Alongside that, I also did some emotional freedom technique tapping to support my body and to support my nervous system and keep me in a thrive state. So when it came to the evening, one of the first things I did was to make sure my family knew of my sleep time, so that there wasn't going to be any surprise last minute, Mum, fill out this form, Mum, can you do this? And so everyone was on the same page with knowing that I was going to bed at this time, and if they wanted to go around to bed at the same time, then that was cool too. I also made sure that dinner was going to be at least 3 hours before bedtime, and my bedtime was 9 p.m, so I wanted to make sure dinner was going to be ready and served and finished by 6 p.m, which it was. I had a quick relaxing shower, and then I put on my blue light blocking glasses. Those are super helpful because they support your body to block out the eyes, to block out blue light, and the blue light limits your melatonin production, and melatonin tells your body it's time for bed, time to slow down. It shifts your cortisol levels and supports your body to get into a relaxed state in preparation for bed. It is your body's antioxidant, and it's needed for healing overnight as well. One of the other things that I did was some light stretching. I like to follow my body's lead and just see what it needs and follow, and just let it feel like it's moving in the directions it wants to, relax and go with that. So I do other stretching where it's more intentional, but in the evenings, if I'm going to stretch, it's more just following my body's lead. And what I was able to notice was the following day, I woke up with a lot more energy, and within the day after, I felt back to normal. And this was a lot faster than I would have in the past. And I think it was because I was very much intentional. I had the tools, I had the knowledge to support my body with exactly what it needs. And there's so many other things you can do as well. But I chose these tools and I chose these actions because I knew that this is what I wanted to do for my body. And it made a huge difference. So unfortunately, I did make some choices that weren't so supportive of my body, but health is not about doing anything perfect. We're all human, we make mistakes. It's about being able to pivot. It's about being able to choose what works for your body and support it so it's back on track fast. How do you get on with sleep? I would love to hear. Feel free to share in the comments. And if you love hearing about this kind of stuff, do give me a little follow there. And then also, if this is something that's interesting to you, if you'd like to learn more about wellness, how to support your body so that your energy, your body, your health all thrive, feel free to click the link in the comments and in my bio, and I would love to see you in our Journey of You Women's Wellness School community. Until next time.